And a very good evening to you. Welcome to a sunny, very warm and also blowy RAF Scampton. There's the runway, there is the control tower. It's a station that means so much to so many. This is the RAF Dambuster station that helped win the war. Tonight, RAF Scampton, the home of the Red Arrows, of course, is up for sale. It's up for sale to cut costs. A blow to the hundreds of service personnel and their families who work at the base. 600 people work here. It means that the Red Arrows are looking for a new home, and it may be that the Red Arrows have to leave the county of Lincolnshire. On the programme tonight, we'll be looking at what that would mean and where they could possibly go. But first, the story of the day from our correspondent, Vicky Johnson.
There's been an axe hovering over RAF Scampton since 1995 when it was first closed. But even once it reopened, its future always seemed precarious, especially when the then Defence Secretary failed to mention it during an interview in 2016.
The RAF is going to be here in Waddington and Coningsby for a long time to come. It's always been an ideal place for the RAF to operate from.
This afternoon we took a flight over the base and could clearly see the Scampton runway and all four hangars which date back to the Second World War. One of the hangars was used by Guy Gibson and the Dambusters, and one is still being used by the Red Arrows today. But for how much longer? Lincoln's festooned with banners celebrating 100 years of the RAF, so there was surprise and disappointment when we broke today's news to some of the shoppers. We wonder whether you'd heard the news this morning about RAF Scampton.
No, hadn't.
Closing.
Oh my goodness, why?
That means also that the Red Arrows...
Oh my goodness, they're my favourite. I watch them always. I watch them practising. No, we can't take those away, can we?
I think it's very sad actually, with the history of the base, with the 617 and the Dambuster history and now the Red Arrows base there. It's a shame that it's closing.
Just wondered whether you'd heard the news about RAF Scampton.
No.
It's going to close.
Oh, that's dreadful. What about the Red Arrows and everything then? Are they based there? No.
They are based there. They're going to have to be based somewhere else.
Right.
So what do you think about the news?
I'm astounded actually.
Edward Lee, whose constituency includes RAF Scampton, says he's saddened by the announcement.
We're all very disappointed. This is an historic base. It was the home of the Dambusters and the Vulcans. It's been a tremendous base for the Red Arrows. I'm extremely sorry to see it go.
Other local politicians say they're determined to make the best of the situation.
I think as a county we are moving forward and the economy is strong, so I think there are opportunities for Scampton. I think there could be a really bright future for it.
Lincolnshire's flat landscape made it ideal for airfields during both World Wars, but now RAF Scampton's chapter in aviation history is drawing to a close, much to the disappointment of local people, especially in this, the RAF centenary year. Vicky Johnson, BBC Look North, Lincoln.
Thank you, Vicky. Lovely day for flying, which is what she was doing. Flying over here, you can see the hangars at the back there. The RAF Red Arrows haven't actually been flying today. They've been out at the hangars, but only for some routine maintenance. Well, when they leave the base in 4 years' time, the Red Arrows will have a new home. And as I say, probably that is going to be on the outside of Lincolnshire. A sad day for many, as we'll find out later in the programme. But after a number of recent high-profile deaths and uncertainty over what type of aircraft they'll have in the future, what is the Reds' long-term future? Philip Norton has this second report.
If you live or drive around this part of Lincolnshire, you'll know one of the best bits about it are the free air displays you get as the Red Arrows practice. The big skies and the open countryside around Scampton make it the perfect training base for them. Those red jets, almost as synonymous with Lincolnshire as the nearby cathedral itself.
Well, they've been very much a part of our life. We've been here about 15 years, and of course the Arrows came to us after that period. But we've spent hours watching them. Actually, when we're eating in our dining room, we're overlooking as they take off and land, and all the exhibition that they give us. And we've thoroughly enjoyed it. We still greatly miss them. Yeah, greatly miss them.
The Red Arrows moved to this county in the 1980s. Now military top brass are looking for a new home. Lincolnshire looks unlikely. Experts declaring the county's other bases too busy. RAF Leeming in North Yorkshire is one of the names rumoured. Homelessness adding to doubt about the Reds' future. 3 fatal incidents have raised safety questions and no clear answer on what jets they will fly when their Hawks are retired next decade. And with cost-cutting questions about these flying aces being a luxury the country can't afford. In their favour, the MOD says the Reds are ambassadors for Brand Britain, reaching a global audience of 1 billion people a year on tours, which helps secure military trade deals. But while they've delighted the public here for half a century, today's news means Lincolnshire's plane spotters may be looking at much emptier skies. Philip Norton, BBC Look North, Scampton.
Well, they certainly are ambassadors, and no, not just throughout the United Kingdom, but throughout the world. And as we've just heard there in Phil's report, there's been no announcement about where they'll go, but there's speculation that the Ministry of Defence, the MOD, will find a home for the Red Arrows outside of the county of Lincolnshire, and it's that which has made so many people so sad today. Well, I've been talking this afternoon to the retired Air Chief Marshal Sir Michael Graydon about today's announcement. So Michael, what is your reaction to today's announcement?
Well, I'm now a Lincolnshire boy, so I'm pretty saddened. I think everybody in Lincolnshire feels the Red Arrows are part of the community, and the thought that they might be leaving Lincolnshire is sad. And closing Scampton is also sad because it has a huge history. But, you know, the Air Force, the Armed Forces are having to make savings, and this presumably is one of those.
So does the MOD and does the RAF actually need Scampton, or don't they need it anymore?
Well, I don't know the answer to that because we've yet to see where they're going to put the 1ACC and where they're going to put the Red Arrows, and there are clearly consequences to that and issues in terms of finding the right base for the Red Arrows somewhere where they can practice without being
It's not going to be Lincolnshire, is it?
Well, it's not going to be Lincolnshire as far as I can see, because we've got 3 main bases here and then Digby, as you know, and 3 main bases are very busy. I cannot see the Red Arrows fitting into those.
So this is a very sad day that we lose the Red Arrows?
It is a very sad day, yes.
Is your bet on North Wales?
Not for the Red Arrows. No, I mean the base in North Wales is a place called Valley, which is already going to be crammed with aeroplanes. It's already very busy, and they're now putting a whole load of basic flying training there as well. So all our bases are heavily loaded now.
Do we have to cut ourselves off in Lincolnshire from being emotional about this and attached to Scampton, and rather put that on one side and think about the practicalities?
Well, the practicalities are not our business. The practicalities are actually the business of the Air Force Department, who will make that decision. I think we can be as emotional as we like about it. Why not?
So what's your gut feeling about it?
My gut feeling is just another example of having to make savings, which the armed forces have had to do really since my time, 1990, 1991. There's been savings year on year on year, and the nation has been trying to get defence on the cheap. And this is just another example of it.
Is this a cut too far, a savings too far?
I can't answer that. We shall have to wait and see where.
But you seem to be hinting that it's cut after cut after cut.
Well, it is a cut after cut, and you know, show me where actually we're getting more money for defence other than on the margins. You know, we had a huge cut to the armed forces in my time, massive. It's been going on for years and years and years, and then in 2010 another major cut. Even all the good plans, which are not actually budgeted for, that were exposed in 2015, will not bring us back to where we were in 2010.
A very sad day.
Sad for me, sad for a lot of people in Lincolnshire.
Sir Michael, very good to meet you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sir Michael Graydon talking to me this afternoon. Those last few words about funding, so powerful. What did he say? Trying to get defence on the cheap. Sir Michael Graydon, we're talking to me in the grounds of the University Bishop Gross Test, because today he was given an honorary doctorate. So well done to Sir Michael Graydon. Well, the RAF says it'll save £140 million by shutting this RAF Scampton, along with, and it's not the only place today, RAF Linton on Ouse in North Yorkshire. Well, the BBC's defence correspondent Jonathan Beale explains the thinking behind the closures.
Well, this announcement follows a pattern with the RAF selling off, closing down some of its older RAF stations, concentrating its resources on a core number of bases such as Marham, Waddington, Brize, Norton. Future of Scampton has been in question for some time. This has been a more difficult political, emotional decision because of the history of the base with the dam busters during Second World War and also now as the home of the RAF Red Arrows. But it's all about finance, it's all about money, and the MOD needs to sell off about a third of its estate. It's still one of the largest landowners in the country. It wants to raise about £3 billion. Even that is just a fraction of what they need to save, because there is a black hole in the MOD's budget at the moment of about £20 billion, and they need more money for new armoured vehicles, new jets, the F-35, new warships too. Remember, this sale will save about £140 million over the next decade. But even today, the MOD announced that it was increasing military personnel's pay, which will cost them just for this year alone more than £200 million. So they're facing a financial hole. They need to raise the money, and this is essentially one way of saving some money, but it's not going to be that much. It is a drop in the ocean.
Yeah, Jonathan Beale, the number of personnel going up on the same day that they announced the closure of this RAF Scampton. As I say, it's very, very emotive, and when you talk to people, as I have been doing today, they feel very, very strongly about it indeed. As always, like your views on this one tonight. If you want to be in touch, we'll have some before we finish at 7. Your announcement, your reaction to the announcement that RAF Scampton is to close, and that the Red Arrows will, well, they'll obviously have to move, but where will they go? And the good possibility that they will leave Lincolnshire. If you want to be in touch, the email address is there, looknorth@bbc.co.uk. The text number is 81333, 81333. Start the text with the word Look North, of course, as always, or follow me on Twitter, Peter_Levy. Tweet now your views on today's announcement from the MOD. We'll have some before we finish at 7 o'clock. It is Look North this Tuesday night, live from RAF Scampton. Still on the programme before surprise and discipline, the Ministry of Defence's that Scampton will close in 4 time. Been to the village of Scampton to find out what local people think. Well, it was absolutely boiling hot in Scampton Village this afternoon. The rumours are it's about 29 degrees. Here on the side of the runway at Scampton, it is now a lot cooler, and you should probably tell there is quite a bit of breeze around. Let's get the weather forecast tonight. It's Owen. Owen, good evening to you.